Well, let's do cover that. I think it is important. That is a bit of an elephant in the room one. Go on, Neil. Give us what you understand is happening and what the latest in that saga is.
He's not leaving. No. Yeah, basically, long story short. Yeah, I
A
don't
Wolf
think
of
it's
Wall Street. I'm not
yeah,
leaving.
yeah, that's what I was going for, that kind of vibe, but then I realized it was across as well on camera. But yeah, from my thing, it's too late. And it's funny that you mentioned again, piggybacking off that, for Deserby, then again, Enzo's kind of got him, and then not that it's going to happen, but then Deserby goes, well, if you're not using Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, yoink, I'll take them from your squad because we play similar systems. Again, I don't think it's happening. I genuinely don't think he goes before the window. We can't afford, again, if we're genuinely serious about that, we are not going to lose him because we will be losing this 9 goals and 9 assists. Whatever you make of Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, them numbers are inexcusable in terms of defensively. We are sound. His ability to drag the team off the pitch, get us forward, he's not going anywhere. Don't think anybody got else thing to add to that, but I just want to put the fire extinguisher on the potential fire.
Anil, can you please? I think it was you, Anil. Was it you that pulled up that stat that one time that pulled up his percentage for the last season, the Premier League, for his ball carrying stance was like literally, if not number one. That's something that I keep banging on about, but it's something that's to be mentioned. Yes, sometimes it can be frustrating on the ball, but that is massive. His
Yeah,
ball
he
carrying
was
ability.
in this season. He's in the top 1 percentile for about 9 different stats. All of the ball progression ones, all of the expected goals and assist ones as well. But in the Premier League, although he wasn't top of like the XG and XGA, he was also in the top 5th percentile. So not quite as good, but still pretty good, right? 5% of the Premier League players, he was in the top 5th percentile for progressive carries and moving the ball up the pitch. So he's always had that in his game. This season, his stats obviously look ridiculous because he's dropped down a league that he's too strong for. But yeah, even in the Premier League, put it this way, I think I could definitely imagine offers came in from him in the summer, but I think that's why, they sold Maddison and Barnes. They decided that those were the two that would go, and KDH they would keep for a little bit. I think they probably also smartly realized and had the word with KDH and said that, look, we know of all the players here, KDH was one of the best players in the Championship when he was at this level last time. So if we keep him, it gives us a really, really good chance of coming up again. And if you look at, again, all of the stats, it's not just the goals and assists. Even if you take that out, on all of the metrics, he's on top by all of them. So that's, I was like jokingly ribbing Luke, this week by saying, oh, this is, you've got your comeuppance for laying into KDH and not giving him 10 out of 10 on your rankings and always slating him because you expect more from him. But what I'm trying to say is that
Derby watched that and took it personally.
Maybe, but what I'm saying is whilst that might be true, there's literally by quite some distance, he's the best player in the division by quite some distance. There's no one even close to him in terms of all-round game, what he offers you. And like I say, you ask any other fan in the Championship, they could have one Leicester player who it's going to be. They're going to say KDH every time. He's in a class of his own. So yeah, look, I mean, I got to say, I was panicking pretty hard. I hope that is true, Neil, that he's not going to leave. Because the reason why people have been getting worried is because Enzo's literally said we cannot sign anyone unless we sell people. He did also, to be fair, say, but look, if we don't sign anybody, I'm okay with my squad. We have now lost Cassidy, so that is that's what I was thinking, that we might bring one other player in on loan to replace him, but we didn't get Fabio Carvalho, who went to Hull instead. So we'll have to see. Look, I will say the thing is that, like, if you look at FFP, if you sell an academy player, that is considered pure profit. So it's like one of the best sales that you can make, because the way that it's amortized on the books is it's not like a case of like, because like say even someone like Maddison, yeah, you make money off it, but you had some investment up front, plus you paid his wages and things like this. So it's not as profitable as it might first look on paper. But when you sell someone who literally, they turned up at 0 because they came from your academy, and you sell them on for 30, 40, 50 million, that's crazy. I mean, that's why, for example, if you look in the Premier League, not many teams are spending, but for example, Brighton, they can spend because they got so much money off Chelsea and Liverpool that they can go and get the next kind of batch of them. I think it says a lot that Brighton won him. Like I say, they've got one of the best analytic scouting teams in the division, Dewsbury there as well. If they were prepared to spend 30 or 40 million on a player, they know the value of players. They're thinking that that's someone that is probably worth at least twice that in the current market. So there you go. But yeah, I just think if we were to lose him, I mean, the only thing I would say in my head is, let's say we lost him, but you signed 3 or 4 players in his place and it made the squad overall stronger ahead of next season. Maybe I could see the logic of that. But I just think that for us, the reason why it'd be such a bad reason to sell him is that if we are going to stay up next season, assuming we get promoted, we are going to rely a lot on Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. So I just think if you sell him and you're going to gamble on someone else being that good, I don't know, man. As I say, I think KDH easily gets into a top 7, top 5 team in the Premier League, if not starting on the bench. I think top 7 he definitely starts. I think he's better than some players that play for Villa, for example, and look how well they're doing. So yeah, God, I hope we keep him, but money's money at the end of the day. If you need it, you know.
Money's money, but at the same time, you look at somebody like a Sheffield. I forgot who is it? Ahmad? Oh, I forgot who player they sold when they came up. One of their main assets they looked to sell.
Well, but that was crazy what they did. So Sheffield United have got to be one of the only teams in history who, when they went up, actually sold their best players. They said that they had a guy called Ilman NDI, who was one of the top scorers in the Championship last season, and they sold him. I think, to be fair, he might have wanted to go, but even so, they did. And then they also sold Sander Berge to Burnley. Now, they replaced him with Gustavo Harmer, who obviously we saw was good in the first game of the season. But I mean, still, you've literally lost 2 of your best players. It seemed like, you know, a lot of those teams, that's one thing that people have said. So just to kind of go into this finally, is that the reason why they're struggling is they actually don't have the same teams as the teams that they came up with. So Burnley, they had Ian Matson, who went back to Chelsea. They had Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who went to Southampton. And they had Nathan Teller, who's gone to Leverkusen. And those 3 players weren't just good. I think they were considered like 3 of their best players. Yeah, yeah. And same with Sheffield United. So that's why, if we look, who's our best performing player this season is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall statistically, even if we think Harry Winks is better. So if we sell him, I mean, it's a nightmare.